What is up, everybody? My name is Cameron. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. And in today's video, I am back down here at the beach and I'm going to be throwing live mullet into the surf to see what I can catch. It is October right now. It is kind of like the mullet run over here, and you never know what's lurking out here on the beaches. But before I start fishing, I do have to catch some mullet because I did not bring any bait whatsoever today, just a cast net and a dream. So I'm gonna hop in the truck. We're gonna start cruising up and down the beach and looking for some mullet popping in the surf. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So the name of the game right now is to just cruise down the beach and keep my eyes on this first gut right here. And I'm just looking for mullet either flashing or popping up in that shallow water. We are at the start of an outgoing tide, and as the tide goes out, we're gonna end up with these little guts before the sandbar, and a lot of times the mullet get trapped in them. So it's a great time to catch bait, especially early in the morning. So I'm gonna keep on driving and hopefully we'll be able to find some here soon so we can get to fishing. Well, I just came along this little slough on the beach here, which is basically like a creek that runs from the surf into the marshy areas. And usually these are great to find bait in, but as you can see, the water level is real low. So I might drive up in there and see if there's some deeper water holding some mullet. Well, I did not have any luck catching any bait at the slough, so I'm back in the truck. I'm gonna keep on moving down the beach. And for those of you that are wondering where I am, I'm at a very special place known as the Bolivar Peninsula, which, as the name implies, is a peninsula here on the upper Texas coast. And it is essentially just a almost like 20-mile long stretch of beach here. And as you can see, this time of year and during the week, it is pretty much empty, so you can have a giant part of the beach all to yourself. So earlier I was explaining to y'all about the little trapped water that you get on the beach whenever the tide is going out. And right here you can see a good representation of what we would call like a washout or something. So basically the water is usually up to here at a high tide, and as it drains out in these little deeper parts that are in between the sandbars, running perpendicular to the beach, so out into the surf. As you can see, some of them can get pretty deep. And a lot of times, not only are these great places to catch bait, but it's also great places to fish, especially if you can find a deep one with fast moving water pushing out. All the game fish will set up right out here in front of it and wait for all the bait to get pushed out off the beach. So I see some schools of mullet out here right now. A lot of them right up shallow in the waves. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the cast net on these mullet here. Hopefully we'll be able to catch a whole bunch of them so we're loaded up on bait, and then we're gonna find a good spot and start fishing. They're running from me, they saw me too. Good long throw. I definitely got him. Oh, bigger mullet. Okay, not what I was expecting. That'll work. We lost one, we lost one. Woo! Y'all check it out. These are perfect baits. We got a nice mix here. 5 nice baits. And these are absolute money on the beach. I'm gonna toss these in the live well and see if we can catch some more. Whoa, they're all jumping out. I can't even keep them in. All right, let's try to catch some more. Big old school bait. I got him that time. Yes. So now that I've got some good baits, all I'm gonna do is keep on heading down the beach and looking for a good spot to fish. To be honest with you guys, you could pull up really wherever this time of year and have a good chance at catching some nice fish. But what I'm looking for is even more bait. I want to find a bunch of nervous mullet on top of the water, maybe see some blowups in it, and if I'm real lucky, a nice deep washout or a rip current going out towards there. So we're just gonna head down the beach, drive for a couple miles, and hopefully we'll see some action. Well, I think I have found the spot I am going to fish. So as I was driving, I saw this nice washout right here in front of me. It's a little bit deeper than the other ones around here. And whenever I got close, a ton of mullet, and they're all still right here, went shooting out. So that is a good sign. And I can see mullet getting tossed over in these waves right here. Okay, so today I brought a bunch of different setups and I'm gonna rig them up a few different ways. So I'm gonna be using 2 surf rods and then 1 smaller rod. And the plan is to cast these 2 surf rods in different areas. I'm gonna do this bigger one out past that sandbar where you can see the waves breaking out there, the second sandbar. And then I'm gonna put another one up close in the first sandbar. And then on my little rod, I'm gonna rig up a Carolina rig and I'm gonna wade out there about knee or waist deep and just cast this out and hold it with one of those live mullet. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, got a little bit bigger one because this is gonna be going on my biggest rod. And as I cast these out, I'll go over the setups with you guys. So this is a 10-foot surf rod. I have that paired with a 6,000 size spinning reel, 50-pound braid. And then for the rig, on both surf rods, it's gonna be the same. I'm just using a fish finder rig. So I have a clip for my weight. I got a bead to protect that knot, and then a swivel. And then below the swivel, I have about 1.5 to 2 foot of 30-pound line here, and a circle hook at the bottom. So since I'm using these live, you can either hook them by the head or the tail. I'm going to hook this guy right here. Really doesn't matter which way you hook them. Just like that. And that's gonna keep him alive and he's gonna be squirming around down there. Send it out. Perfect, cast it right out in that next gut. I'm gonna walk this back to shore and we're gonna hook up the other rods, cast them out, and I'm done talking because I've been talking way too much. So now it's time to get to fishing. We don't have to go far for this one. We'll just send it out. That should be perfect right there. Oh, we've got a fish just hit this rod. Pretty positive it's a shark, just saw him come shooting out of the water. Yep, there we go. All right, first fish of the day. Not what I'm looking for, it is a shark. But it is still the first fish, which is what matters. A little black tip. Boom. All right. All right, there we go, you guys. First fish of the day. Little shark here. And this is a black tip, and the way you can tell it's a black tip, because actually, contrary to what you would think, black tips do not have a black tip down here. If it does have a black tip, it's a spinner shark, which sounds backwards, but that's how you can tell. I'm gonna get a release on this little guy. There we go. And those are super fun to catch, actually. Not what I'm looking for, but good way to break the ice. So there we go. First fish of the day. The skunk is off. Well, y'all take a look at this. The wind has completely died out. It is absolutely gorgeous out here right now. But unfortunately, there's nothing biting. It has been about 2 hours since I've been at this spot. I've caught that one little shark, and then I had one other bite. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and reel in these rods. I'm gonna pick up all my stuff, and I'm gonna hop in the car, and we're gonna continue down the beach, and I'm just gonna look for more bait. I am still seeing some mullet. There's actually quite a bit up here, pretty shallow. Bunch of ripples out there, that's all mullet. With that being said, I still think I'm gonna go ahead and move and see if I can find some action going on farther down the beach. Well, I just pulled up to another spot here on the beach, and I'm already liking this better than the last one, and I'll tell you why. After I got about a mile or 2 miles away from the last spot, the water just came alive. I mean, it is like fields of finger mullet all in this first gut. And it's been like that for the past mile or so. So I found a spot that I liked. I like this little drain coming out. You can see all the mullet stuck in here. I like this little drain coming out. I like how this sandbar is really close in right here. I'll be able to get my bait over that. And I'm sure there's a deep little gut or a hole right here where this water drains out. So all we have left to do is cast out a mullet and see if there's any fish here. Let's get to it. All right. Same thing as before. Let's get a live mullet here. Boom. The good news is I'll definitely be able to re-up on bait right here. There's a bunch stuck in this little gut. And then, like I just showed y'all, I mean, it is unbelievable the amount of mullet right here. Let's get one way out there. That was a beautiful cast. Wow. And I'm gonna get the other rods just like before, and it's just a waiting game once again. Hopefully we'll have some better luck over here than we did at the first spot. Either way, it is an absolutely gorgeous day out here on the beach. Can't ask for much more than this, except for maybe a fish or two. All right, you guys are not going to believe what just happened. Little bull red right there. This guy's like 30 inches. Get a release on him. I don't even call that a bull. That's just a little 30-inch red. What just happened was the craziest series of events I've ever experienced out here on the beach. I walk out, I cast out the biggest mullet in my bucket. I'm walking back in, and I feel the mullet get hit as I'm walking back in. Like in the water for 30 seconds. I close the bail, boom, fish on. It's that redfish. I'm fighting that thing, trying to make my way back to shore. Next thing I know, I look up. There is a pelican, a big pelican, stuck in the line. So the fish is pulling one way, I'm pulling the other way, the pelican's in the middle, getting dragged upside down through the water by this bull red. And all this is happening, and the GoPro is in the car, because I did not expect to get bit that quick. I was just rebaiting. So I literally had the GoPro charging in the car. Well, long story short, it took me about 10 minutes and all these people pulling up in their golf carts and watching. Nobody helping, by the way, so thanks everybody. And I'm untangling this pelican with one hand, hand lining in the redfish with my other hand, and I tried to cut the line close to the pelican like 3 times. But my pliers are just so dull right now because I've had them for like 2 years, they won't cut. So eventually, thank God, the line slips off the wing of the pelican, like slides all the way down its wing, slips off, he flies off, fish is still on, I fight the fish, get it all the way and land it, and then as y'all just saw, there it was, and there was a release. So I'm gonna go cast out another big old mullet, and this time I'm gonna leave the GoPro on. Crazy, but we made it happen. Let's go. Okay, I've got another bait here. Another decent sized mullet. Look at that guy. That is the perfect size for a nice redfish. Oh shoot, my big rod's getting big with the big mullet on it. It's doubled over. Dude. Now I've got to run all the way back to shore. Oh my gosh. I don't see anything jumping out there, so it's hopefully another redfish. Of course, I literally just walked back out here and this rod gets smacked. And I'm going right through the hole. Whoa, it's still going down. I'm up to my chest. Whoa, and there's a straight ledge back up. All right, we've got whatever's on here. Yeah, that's a pretty heavy fish. Oh, I see it thrashing out there. It's a whale, man. My goodness, look how the line gone off the spool. That fish took a ton of line. I've got to reel in this other rod I was just out there with. Or they're going to get tangled. Dude, I meant to set down this rod and reel in. Come on, stay on. Okay, this rod's in. What a cluster, man. Feels like it could be another red. If it was a shark, I believe it would have broke off, unless it was hooked perfectly, because I'm only using 30 pound. But it's pretty slow, to be honest. All right, I take that back. This is going to be a substantially bigger one than the one I just caught. Man, like I said, that sandbar out there goes so far. He's way out there still, but he's probably on that sandbar. I mean, it's like knee deep for like 50 yards wide. There he is. Whoa, that's a big one, dude. His tail is like golden. I think he's all wrapped up. It's so funny because of how shallow this spot is. I honestly never would have thought this would have been a good spot to catch bull reds. Usually I'm looking for way deeper guts, not these long sandbars, but I guess you never know. And if all the bait is here, shoot, I mean, it's good hunting grounds for them. he's right here. Probably gonna freak out. Oh yeah, way bigger. Way prettier too. Dude, yeah, hell yeah. That is a monster with all these beautiful spots on. Dude, this almost looks like the same one I caught earlier this year. All right, pop this circle hook right out of the corner of his mouth. Let's get the camera set up. Big old bull red. Let's go. Pretty one too, and check out the spots. Nice. Let's see if I can turn this camera to get a better view. Let's get a release on this big beautiful one. Man, look at that thing. All the spots are crazy. She's ready to go too. Ha ha ha. Let's go. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Looks like we finally have found a bite out here. I'm gonna grab some more big mullet, maybe cast in some, and then we're gonna get back out there because the bite is turning on as the afternoon continues. All right, I believe this surf rod is bit. There we go. That's a mad one. There we go, guys. Hooked up again. That did not take long. Man, I wasn't even done tying up my other rod after I got this one casted out. This one is feisty, but it feels smaller. Oh, I just saw this one come up, and that is another big one. Probably a little bit smaller than the last, but I'm not sure yet, but he has a big old tail. He's going crazy right on that sandbar. No, guys, that is another big one. With just a dark red tail, just a nice golden colored redfish. Another beauty, man. They are beautifully golden colored today. Come on, right here. And this is just 30-pound leader. This is a lot lighter than I usually use for these big guys. As you can see, it works. Man, another solid fish. Look at those beautiful golden colors. That is what you go red fishing for. Oh! All right, y'all check it out. Whoa! Bull red number 3. Look at how nice and golden this one is. I wish I had somebody here to hold the camera for me so I could get some good videos and pictures. It's hard with the light and the way the truck is facing, but another big old bull red. Let's go get a release on this guy. All right, walking out one last time. This is my last decent sized mullet I have, and all the other ones are little finger mullet. So I'm gonna send this guy out, and then I'm gonna start picking up my stuff. I actually did just catch a nice redfish off camera. I couldn't get the GoPro to turn on, but it was nothing crazy. It was like a nice little 34 incher. But I do have the camera working again right now. At least I hope it is. And I'm gonna send this guy out in the same spot. Okay, I got a bite right here pretty quick and it went slack, but it looked like a smaller bite. Nothing's on here. Dang, that was my smallest finger mold I put out. So I really hope that it wasn't a gaff top or a little shark that ate that one. But it very well could have been. I'm gonna put it back in the rod holder, leave it for a couple minutes, and then if it doesn't get bit again, I'm done. That's my last one. Something's biting it again right now. I'm trying to put this cast net up. But it's not going crazy. There we go. Man, that's something little. I don't get it. After such a big run, I think he's on here. Yeah, there is something on here. That's something tiny, dude. Well, that was about the weirdest thing that I've ever seen. This thing got bit a little while ago, and I just left it sitting while I was picking up, even though I figured it probably didn't have bait on it. Well, then it got absolutely slammed, was doubled over, and peel dragged for like a solid like 15 seconds, no exaggeration. And I was fumbling with the camera trying to get it on. Usually when they run drag like that, they're hooked. Well, of course, the camera turns on upside down. I turn it off, flip it back around, get it on again, and it was completely slack and nothing was on there. Well, I do have something right here. That's something little. Dang hardhead. That is not, I can promise you that is not what hit it a minute ago. Well, either way, it's still been a good day out here. I'm gonna get this guy unhooked without getting stabbed here, hopefully. He almost got me. And with that, we're going to call it an afternoon here on the beach. I want to get home before it gets too late. Been out here all day, so happy with what I caught. I ain't that mad at him. See you, buddy.